Anyway, is that good? It's so empty. That's fine. Okay. Hi. So, I have seeds. I've had seeds for a while. It is the day before Valentine's Day. I don't like how white it is over here. There's a plant. It's just low. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so I've had seeds for a while. My husband is sleeping and the heaters are on, so I'm trying to be quiet and I'm using the heaters to buffer sound to the bedroom so I don't wake him up. Hopefully the heaters aren't too obnoxious. Otherwise I'll reshoot this and you won't even see this clip. But anyway, I've had seeds for a while, but it's just been really gross outside and I haven't wanted to film and my skin has been a disaster, so I haven't really wanted to be on camera. But it's the day before Valentine's Day. I have little earrings, little hearts, and I have coffee. I have my notebook with little plans for seeds. The seeds are all right in here. Some that I've saved from the grocery store, just from like food that I bought. Other random things. And then the envelope with the actual order from my gardener. So I'm gonna grab my coffee. Okay. Coffee acquired. So basically, let's see. Let's start with the grocery store seeds and then the random ones that I bought at the hardware store because I knew I didn't have them on this order and I felt like I wanted them, so I grabbed them. And then we'll go over the actual order from the website and then we'll take a look at my little plants. My plants are super rough. I have not grown anything edible in years because I've been in apartments and I've never done edible things in a container garden other than like herbs. So if you have tips or you disagree with like, I have like things that I think I might want to try to succession sow, which I've never done before. I have a rough little calendar of like months that I think I should plant things. Obviously those things are going to vary depending on which zone you're in and like the length of your growing seasons. You know, and climate things are just kind of weird everywhere and changing indefinitely. So who knows, but tips are still welcome and appreciated. Just be nice about it, don't be weird. So for things that I bought from the grocery store that I wanted to save seeds from, I saved butternut squash seeds because I love butternut squash. Do I think I can grow it in a container? No. At least not one in the size that's gonna go on that deck. If you had like raised beds, even on a smaller side, you probably could. I probably won't grow these this year. I might try to germinate a couple, because obviously I have plenty. I might try to germinate a couple and try them and just see what happens. If I have to like get a tomato cage or something and try to trellis them out there, if they're doing good, I might roll with it. I might forego them entirely. They're just kind of here because I really like butternut squash and I make this really yummy soup. Oh, I roast it with onions and red peppers and garlic, and then I just hit it all with the immersion blender and some chicken broth, and then you top it with a little cream and some pepitas. So good. Okay, and then I've got bell peppers. I've got a couple little bags of bell pepper seeds. I let these all dry before I put them in bags. I just throw them on like a baking sheet and spread them out and leave them to dry for a few days. And then I have some jalapeno seeds, which I feel like could do quite well, and it gets really hot here in the summer, so I think peppers will do well, assuming that I water everything and stay on top of it and don't let them just like burn and shrivel and die. Next I have, I used to be in like a little union thing at my old job, but they randomly mailed these things out like last spring, and it's just one of those papers with like wildflower seeds. So I might just try to toss that on something, like in some dirt with something else, or maybe in its own little pot, who knows, and just see if it grows. I've never actually grown one of these out of the paper, so we'll see how that works out. And then these, which I think I showed in the last video, They have the nasturtiums, which are an edible flower. I've heard that they have like a pretty peppery kind of taste, and they're probably really good in salads or even just as like a pretty and edible garnish. I'm usually not too huge into like growing flowers, but I think because they're edible and like they are really pretty, I really like the colors. So, I don't know, we'll give it a shot. Just reading the back here. Height, it says 6 to 12 inches. Blooms in summer to fall. So that might be something worth succession sowing if I want blooms in the summer and the fall. I wonder if you could dry them and use them in like teas or something, or if they would just be pretty dried. Don't know, we'll give it a shot. The seeds are really large on them. They're like the size of peas. There we go. Like, those are humongous for flowers. I don't know. And then I've got these carrots, which are just fun little mixed rainbow carrots. I don't think there's any of the cool like cosmic whatevers, but just fun colorful carrots. I've heard carrots can do pretty well indoors, like under a grow light, and obviously I have the grow light set up now if you saw that video. Heaters are off and my neighbors are being really loud. Apartment life. Okay, yeah. Oh, it does say there's some cosmics in here actually. It actually has all of the varieties listed back here. So it has Atomic Red, Bambino Orange, Black Nebula, Cosmic Purple, Lunar White, and Solar Yellow. So that should be a fun little mix. And then if some of the varieties do better than others, I can maybe just try to get the good ones for next year, assuming I'm still living here. Who knows? My whole life is up in the air right now. Okay, coffee break. Sorry, I feel like I'm rushing through this for no reason. How are you? Have you gotten your seeds? You hear that? You hear that? I feel like my neighbor just ties ropes around cinder blocks and just drags them around on the floor all day. They're my upstairs neighbor. That's the only way I can think to explain all the sounds. But we're gonna power through because she's kind of like this all day, every day when she's home at all. So there's no point in waiting for it to end to shoot. Anyway, if you have your seeds, tell me in the comments what you're growing, or if you're growing in ground, if you're doing a container garden, if you have like an apartment set up on a tiny little balcony like me, like what are you doing? Because this is all very new for me. So let me know. And we can figure out together what works good and what doesn't. Both seed-wise and container-wise and fertilizing-wise and all that jazz. Okay. This is the order from M.I. Gardener. Okay. It's got my little order slip. And then all the seeds. They also sent, they probably do this with every order, but they sent just like a little empty packet. And it's got kind of like a mission statement type thing on the back from them, and it's just like an empty one to store any heirloom seeds that you harvest, or any seeds. It doesn't have to be like heirloom variety seeds, but focus. There we go. But yeah, it's got like the name, the date, variety things, all that jazz. Okay, we'll set off to the side. So in here, I have quite a few things. So I'm just organizing them real quick so I can kind of do them in an order that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 seed packets that I got from them. We will start with we will start with lettuces. So I've got some iceberg lettuce, just like some basic iceberg, because if it grows, I know I'll eat it, I know I'll enjoy it. I'm thinking if I can keep pests off of it, that it'll grow fairly readily. I might even try doing some of the greens and the herbs and stuff in here under the grow light like the whole season and not move them outside. So we'll give it a shot and see what happens there. Be good on sandwiches and salads and, I don't know, burgers, whatever you use lettuce for, obviously. This I thought was interesting that they had seeds for it. This is miner's lettuce. I've seen this in like foraging videos a lot. I didn't know anyone grew this from seed. I thought like this grows up between the cracks and sidewalks and you can harvest it, you know, if it's clean and not sprayed or in a city or anything gross. This is miner's lettuce. I've never seen anyone like try to grow this in containers, so I'm kind of interested to see how that works out. But yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty even if it doesn't grow. It's kind of got like these little satellite dish leaves, and I'm interested in the flavor. It says it can be harvested continuously throughout the season, so it's kind of like a cut and come back type little salad vibe. Next up we have cucumbers, which normally I wouldn't think to grow cucumbers on a balcony in a container, because usually they take up a lot of space, like a butternut squash, you know, seem kind of like tendrily climbing, take up a lot of space plants. But my gardener had a little like container friendly section on their website, and these are the, what is it, Space Master? Yeah, Space Master AD cucumbers. So allegedly they're container friendly and just like a good slicing cucumber. I'm not gonna use them to like pickle or anything weird. Not weird, but you know. Says regular harvesting encourages more fruit production, ensuring a continuous supply of fresh cucumbers throughout the growing season. Firm, smooth, and consistently green without yellowing. Yeah. So it's a bush variety, so it shouldn't need to climb, which I think is what makes it container friendly. Is it's a bush variety, it doesn't need to trellis or get low on the ground and take up a bunch of space. So we'll give those a shot. I love cucumbers, just a little salt, easy peasy, delicious. Especially in the summer when they're fresh and like cool. Or you do cucumber water. Oh, so good. So good. Okay. Next up, let's do beans and peas. Okay. So I've got, this is a strike bean. It is also a bush variety, like the cucumbers, making it container friendly. These, I really like green beans for like sauteing. I haven't gotten into any of the things, like the beans that you have to shell and just get the peas out of the inside. I love peas, like I'll eat them, but I just want to see if I can grow things in containers before I get into like fun, crazy, like spend hours shelling beans type thing. So it says stringless pods, excellent flavor, tender, perfect for fresh eating, canning, and freezing. I might try to freeze them if I get plenty, or just use them fresh in like sautés, stir fries, or just right off the plant eating them. Maybe a snack. For the fresh eating, I'm definitely gonna be eating these little sugar snap peas, but they're also good in stir fries, so I don't know. I love snap peas though. Like these are my favorite, they're just right off the vine. I think we used to grow these when I was growing up, and it's just like a perfect little treat. Again, it's another bush variety on a dwarf 18 to 24 inch vine. They stay compact, so no trellis is required, making them a perfect candidate for urban or small space gardening. Eat fresh off the vine or enjoy them sauteed in your favorite dish. Yep, and then it's really nice too, it tells you how to harvest them down in the green here on the bottom. It has that for like, yeah, like the cucumbers, like it tells you if you should twist things off or if you should just cut it with shears or just the best way that doesn't like harm the plant or stunt like further growth. or fruiting. So that's cool. And then let's do herbs. I got some slow bolt cilantro. I've had slow bolt cilantro in the past that doesn't feel very slow bolt, so we will see. I love cilantro. I love making like carnitas and tacos and pico de gallo, and just making my own salsas and tacos and everything, basically all the time, especially in the summer when I've got the grill out there, which takes up gardening space, but I'm not willing to move the grill. But yeah, so that'll be really good. I just love cilantro. I'm not one of the it tastes like soap people. If you are, I'm sorry for your loss. I don't judge you, but like I'm sorry for you. Next up we have piccolino basil. I don't know if it's piccolino or picciolino or what it is, but it grows in this cute little like sphere, allegedly. Like you don't really have to trim it to that shape. But yeah, it says this basil matures quickly and produces abundant leaves, ideal for fresh use in salads, pestos, and culinary dishes. But it also just looks like it's pretty and ornamental if you want it to be. I'm gonna be trying to eat it, obviously. Dwarf variety, known for its small fragrant leaves. I've never tried this. I usually just get like the big leaf, like sweet Italian basils. Just like the typical stuff you find everywhere. But I'm excited to grow this. It looks really cute. And it's basil, so it's probably really yummy. And then up next we have chamomile. One, it's really cute. It's a cute, pretty little flower. And two, I'm trying to get more into tea. I drink a lot of coffee, and I feel like, you know, coffee isn't like bad for you, but I feel like tea has a lot of things. Different teas have things that are actually good for you. I'm gonna sip my coffee. I'm not trying to like quit drinking coffee completely or anything, but I would like to incorporate tea more into my daily routines, or like a cup of chamomile tea at night before bed or something, you know? And I feel like I'm more likely to do that if I grew the tea thing itself. Otherwise, it's just pretty. But yeah, so that for tea. I might try to grow, so all of these herbs, I'm gonna sow quite a few, and then I'm gonna probably but like move half of them to outside, and then keep half of them under the light throughout the season, and just see what grows better, if they grow differently at all, if one of them doesn't grow at all because it doesn't like the seasons, or if we get a late frost, or it's, you know, jumps from 60 degrees to like 100 in a week or something ridiculous, because it does that here. But that way I'll have like backups. Up next I've got Aunt Molly's ground cherry. It's labeled as a tomato, but it has these like papery casings around it, kind of like a tomatillo. I've never had these. Apparently they're pretty sweet. It says this Polish heirloom is as sweet as candy. The ground cherry is sweet, tart, and savory. I don't know how it can be sweet and savory, but I'm excited to find out. The combination of flavors from a tomatillo to slight pineapple is the best of both worlds. Perfect for making jellies, jams, and more. I feel like it might be interesting in like a salsa, if you did like a fruity salsa. A lot of people do like mango or pineapple salsas, so maybe this kind of mixed in with that, but it'll still have that tomatoey texture. But it sounds interesting. And it doesn't say container friendly on it, on the packaging. I think it did online though. And it doesn't vine or anything, I don't think, because it's a ground cherry, so I think those are typically more bushy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna try it either way. And then our last two. We have two different kinds of tomatoes. We'll start with this one. Here I have Tess's Landrace Currant Tomato. These are little, just like tiny little like cherry tomato sized ones. It says it's container friendly. I got these because online it basically said these are perfect if you're trying to get kids into gardening, just because they grow really fast and they produce fast and easily, and the tomatoes themselves are very sweet. And not that I'm a kid getting into gardening, but I feel like these are almost, I'm gonna knock on wood, these are almost a guaranteed win since they recommend them for children. They're probably pretty hard to mess up and kill and not fruit, so if I can't get these to grow, then we're all screwed, but I'm hoping I can, and that'll be a win. They grow like grapes on large clusters, super sweet, low on seeds. These tomatoes are perfect to get kids into growing a garden. Popular with gourmet chefs and home gardeners alike. They're indeterminate, so they should produce all season long. Fast growing and ideal for locations with a short growing season. Plants will produce dozens of tomatoes per cluster. Okay. Yeah. I'm also, so I eat raw tomatoes in the sense of like pico de gallo and salsas, but I'm not someone who typically just like pops cherry tomatoes in their mouth, or like I don't do ranch, so I don't dip them in anything, like, but if these are sweet and little, and again, if I grow them myself, I'm hoping that I'll like them just straight off the vine. And we get really hot summers, so I'm hoping tomatoes will do well, but not like burn. I'll have to watch them. I might need to come up with some kind of shade covering for back there during certain parts of the days, or they're in containers, so if it gets really bad, I can bring them in and just put them on the dining table that you're on right now. That way they're still getting light from the window, but not blasted by the heat too. And then our last seed is these supernova tomatoes. I am assuming that they're kind of the size of like a Roma. They might be a little smaller. They could be like pear tomato sized, and I could just be completely lying about everything. Don't trust me. It says 2 ounce fruits. I don't really know what a 2 ounce tomato looks like, so again, I just want things to grow. But it says perfect for salads, sandwiches, and salsas. So I imagine they're a decent size for like cutting. But yeah, that's why I'm thinking maybe Roma tomato sized or a little smaller, which is totally fine. Thriving in a range of climates, including hot and dry conditions. That's why I got these ones, because I live in Washington, eastern Washington state. It is very dry all year round, and in the summer, there's usually like a 2-week period during every summer here, kind of like late August, I think, where it'll like steadily be 110 every single day, you know, with fluctuations higher and lower than that. But yeah, basically the 4th of July through, we'll say the 4th of September, we'll say like there's a 2-month period there where it's just like hell outside. Yeah, like the asphalt burns and like shit melts if you leave it out, like it's bad, and it's dry. But apparently these do fine with that, so we'll see what happens. Okay, that is all of the seeds. If you've grown any of those before and have any tips, let me know down below. If you haven't grown them but would be interested in what happens, obviously stay tuned, subscribe, because videos will be coming as the seasons progress. So next we've got my little notebook. Move all these seeds out of the way. Oh, there's so many. I love them so much. So many things. Okay. Seeds, seeds, seeds. What to do with you all. Okay. Onto the notebook. So, in here, I have just a list of seeds. I wrote down planting, basically just from the website. I wrote down planting depths and what size containers I think I should use for them. So some of them I have like 5-gallon buckets, and some of them I just have like little herb pots. I cross-referenced a lot of things. Like I looked on the MI Gardener website for the ones that they did have container info on. I also did some Googling. I went to like blogs just to kind of check on different varieties. Except for like the herbs, because they're herbs, you know. But yeah, so that's that. So I have a rough idea of what kind of containers I need. I do have some buckets and stuff just around, because like I have an aquarium. I don't know if I've showed you guys that. But I've got, don't mind the vacuum right there. But I've got like an aquarium, so I have buckets for like water changes. Got that bowl too. No barking. No barking. Daisy. Go deal with the rat. Daisy, come here. You're stinky rat dog, but you're so cute. Hi. She's so cute. She has this thing where she just lays by the front door, and like we live in an apartment, so there's other front doors right next to us. She's gonna drink her water really loud now. But she just lays there like waiting to hear keys or like squeaky car brakes or whatever sets her off. Anyway, oh also, I just redid this whole table the other day. I hope you like it. It has my plants and cute mirrors from our wedding and my tarot cards. It's lovely. I like it a lot. We'll wait for her to finish drinking. How are you? She's really chugging. You good? Good girl. Do you want a snack? Okay, let me give her a rawhide real quick. That's a good girl. You sit. Sit. Oh, good job. Shake. Other shake. Touch. Kisses. Thank you. Go. Go, go, go. Good girl. She's so cute. Okay. My hair's falling out. That's fine. Whatever. Okay. So, we've got all the seeds. What is that? Go back. It's not fine. I take it back. Dude, also, I'm so excited for the farmers markets to start up. Because I want to connect with people who do this on like larger scales and market sell and stuff. Because assuming I get land one day, assuming, which, you know, I don't want to be too hopeful, but assuming I can get land one day in like a real house and stuff, you know, be like an adult, I would love to sell at farmers markets and stuff. That sounds so cute. Anyway, I digress. So next up in the notebook, we have, I made this garden calendar, roughly based off of when like last frosts and things are here. I don't know. I need to do more research. I just don't know when to sow certain things, because I feel like a lot of people are starting to sow their seeds already, and it's just barely mid-February. And I feel like a lot of stuff says to sow indoors like 4-ish weeks before the last frost. Our last frost here sometimes isn't till the very end of April. I don't want to be waiting till like the 1st of April though, or the very end of March to start sowing seeds. So but I don't want to start stuff too early and then just have it be wasted. It's hard. But even if the dates on things change, I wrote down at least like stuff to sow indoors and then move out versus stuff that I'll be direct sowing. Like the carrots, I can direct sow those out. I put in March, so we might try that then. think it's kind of one of those like once the soil is workable things. But again, that's hard because it's all going to be fresh soil that is workable as soon as I put it out in a container that I can work in. So it's tough. I think in March too, I'm going to sow. So for indoor sow in March, I have lettuce, tomatoes, cilantro that will stay indoors, basil that will stay indoors, and chamomile that I put as going outside. So yeah, in April is probably when I'll start fertilizing soil. Indoor sow the ground cherries. Not sowing till April kind of feels crazy to me though. And then I have direct sow the sugar peas, the sugar snap peas for out there. So just direct sow outside. And then yeah, I have some stuff that I wrote to not direct sow until May. Like if I do the butternut squash, the miner's lettuce, the strike bean, and then cucumber, cilantro, and more basil. Because I want to kind of succession do like the cilantro and basil, just so I have like fresh herbs all season. I don't know. I know that like the cucumber and the squash don't really like to be moved, so I know that they're gonna have to be a direct sow in whatever I sow them in, whether it's indoors or outside. I don't know. I think I just need to do more research on that and really just hammer down dates a little more. But even then, it's not even hammering down dates. I just need to like watch the seasons, which is kind of tough because right now I think it's like 15 degrees outside today. It's snowy, but it's like sunny and nice, and it wants to be spring, but it can't be. I don't know. And then I kind of wrote down like a little fertilizing schedule for every 2 months or 2 weeks. Yeah. And then for October, I wrote topsoil with 2 inches of compost and then mulch or straw. Because I don't want to replace all of the soil that I'm gonna have to buy every spring. I don't know how many years I'm gonna be in this apartment and gardening on that balcony. So if I can compost and mulch the soil and keep everything that's living in there alive, that would be ideal. And then obviously I'm not tilling if it's in containers, but you know, take a shovel and kind of just go mix everything up in the spring when it's workable again. That I'm gonna try to go for that. And then obviously fertilizing with like worm castings and compost and stuff like that. I don't do organic for my houseplants. Like I'll use Miracle Grow and stuff on them because I just want them to look pretty. But for stuff that I'm gonna be eating, at least for trying it out this year, I want to try to do organic and just do like the worm castings and compost and natural soil builders like that, instead of just short-term chemicals that you have to keep just reapplying, otherwise everything's gonna die because your soil itself is dead. That's what I'm gonna try to do. If you have fertilizing tips or organic gardening tips, let me know. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, and then succession planting. I think I'm gonna try to succession plant like the peas and the beans, just because at least the beans, so the strike beans, it said those are good for freezing. So if I can grow those more than I need, I can freeze them. The peas, I just want to be able to eat those all season long. I don't think I see them frozen in like stir fry packages at the store. Maybe they freeze well too, who knows? Either way, I love eating those, so I'm gonna succession plant both of those. The chamomile, 1, it's pretty, 2, drying a bunch for tea and just keeping it in a bag in the cupboard. Why not? Cilantro and basil, because fresh herbs. all the time. And then I wrote if room, lol, because there probably won't be any room. Strawberries and chard are something I might like to add. Maybe not the chard. So I just really like rainbow chard, just sauteed olive oil with lemon juice on it. That's a really good little side. And then strawberries, I'll probably see starts at the grocery store and stuff and be tempted to grab them. So if that happens, it happens. And then, yeah, I have a list of crazy. Are we back? Okay, my battery died. Okay, where was I? What were we talking about? Oh, so I have this janky list. I cut a chunk out of it because I must have just written a note I needed for something else in my notebook. But it's kind of just a list of things that I want to grow in general, but like don't have space to do this year. Or maybe I want to try later this year indoors or something, but I just don't have seeds for yet. Or things like different squashes or larger plants that I don't really want to try to do on the balcony because it just sounds like too much work, if we're being honest. Like kokuzi squash, I think they call it like snake squash or something, but they're this really long, like twisty, weird squash that would obviously need a trellis or something. Different kinds of tomatoes that I've heard good things about. I have like a much more extensive list of herbs that I would love to grow. Like I've got like basil, oregano, mint, rosemary, sage, lavender, and then green onions. Also thyme. I love growing thyme because it grows really well, but I don't like harvesting it fresh. It's so tedious. Like it tastes better, obviously, but like it's so tedious to pull it, you know. Different cucumbers, eggplants, kale, chard, calendula, flower, arugula, broccoli, parsnips, radishes, a couple different kinds of squash. For flowers, I've got like borage, lavender, chamomile, zinnia, pea flower, nasturtium, which I have, calendula, sweet alyssum, I don't know, and cosmos. Yeah, different kinds of peppers. So stuff that I want to like keep in my brain to grow, maybe next season or something, or to try indoors later. But stuff that I'm not growing right now for this immediate season coming up. But yeah, so that's kind of the setup. Right now, let me show you. I have the grow light set up, obviously. I haven't started any seeds yet, but under it I just have like some carrot tops. I'm not expecting them to grow or to harvest anything from them. I just think it's fun, like with the kitchen scraps, just to see what they do. But like I've got carrot tops that are kind of rooting. This is the only one that's really like taken off. That one's trying to. The parsnips, this one has a little something coming up right there. They're not going as crazy as the carrots are. I love roasted parsnips though. This guy's growing too. They're just a lot slower than the carrots. And I thought they'd be basically like identical. But yeah, and this is like a salsa container and it's lid. So nothing crazy. And then thyme, like I was just talking about, it's just in this cute little pot. It's growing really well on sunny days like this. So it's snowy, but it's like bright, you know? I don't turn on the light typically. Again, I'm not trying to grow these to eat, really. So if they kind of fizzle out, I'm fine with that. But on days that there is natural sunlight, I leave the light off. Otherwise, I'll turn it on the really gloomy days. But the light's doing great. All my little houseplants in the corner otherwise. I've got my isopods in there. This is my little springtail colony. And then I've got a couple like nice big jar terrariums that are doing great. I've had those for years. They're sturdy. And then, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to plan when you're gonna start seeds when it looks like this outside. And we're supposed to get like another 4 inches tonight. So, yeah. I don't know, it feels kind of silly to be planting seeds, but that's where we're at. Yeah, if you have questions or tips for the seeds that I have, please post them down below. I don't 100% know what I'm doing. I've never grown anything edible in containers before, aside from herbs, like I already said. So yeah, if you have any tips for me, they're welcome. Just don't be like an asshole. Otherwise, yeah, if you guys want like a houseplant tour video, let me know. I might just do that anyway. I'll make a video whenever I do start seeds so we can get our hands dirty together. But yeah, that's what I've got. Oh, also we came up with a name for the channel, the Butterpine Porch, which obviously you're seeing. I do also have an Instagram, Butterpine Porch. Let me make sure there aren't any underscores in that before I start spreading lies. But basically, how I came up with it was I wanted it to kind of be based on local flora. And we always get these buttercup flowers, these really pretty little yellow, like waxy flowers, like really early spring. And I love those because they give me hope whenever I start to see them popping up in like these rocky, just little areas off to the side of the road and stuff. And they just always kind of give me hope that like spring is coming. And they're just bright yellow and they're happy, and I love that. It's nice when the snow starts melting and things are coming alive again, you know? It's nice to see. And then the pine is basically every natural tree and like foresty area around here is just ponderosa pines. So I was trying to come up with like buttercup, ponderosa pine type things, and I couldn't pick between them. And my husband was like, what about butterpine? And I was like, it's kind of silly, but it sounds cute. And then other butterpine things were like taken, and so I was like, Butterpine Porch, and we'll do videos on the porch when it's not 10 degrees outside, so there we go. But yeah, so on Instagram I'm just straight Butterpine Porch. The profile picture is the same as it is on YouTube, so you can find me easily. I've only got 2 little posts on there right now. But yeah, feel free to give a follow. Questions, comments, tips, concerns in the comments down below here, that would be great. Thanks for tagging along. Good luck with your seeds. Tell me what you got. Tell me what you're growing in your containers. Tell me if you're in ground, like the difference. And I don't know, if you've grown in containers before, which one you prefer maybe, if you prefer things for different types of plants, let me know. We can all grow and learn together and help each other, and it'll be grand. But anyway, have a good day. Bye!